Quigley Court. For tonight, Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference matchup between the Lakers of Roosevelt University and your Fighting Saints. As always, prior to the introductions of tonight's starting lineups, we ask that you please rise as we honor America, the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening and welcome inside the Sullivan Center here on the campus of the University of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois. It's about 25 hours late, but just about set for tip-off here between the Fighting Saints of St. Francis and the Roosevelt University Lakers. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's game. We were snowed out yesterday, a doubleheader between St. Francis and Roosevelt. The men's game will be made up next week. The women will play tonight as St. Francis finally gets a chance today for their 6th consecutive win. The Lakers have taken the floor wearing their green jerseys, and the Saints are in pink, which means it must be February. I've lost my calendar, so I'm glad they've pulled out the pink jerseys as they do every year in the year's second month to remind me of where we actually are. I missed 2/2/22 yesterday, so that was my mistake. But here we are in the 3rd of February. Andriana Acosta and Mo Milton on the opening tip. It is won by Milton and tipped back to Amelia McNutt as Roosevelt starts with the ball going from left to right here in the first half. The Saints will go from right to left for the first 20 minutes of the game. Milton holds it just shy of the free throw line. Jumper in the face of Adriana Acosta is good. Acosta did not respect the mid-range game of Mo Milton there, and Milton made her pay, holding for a while before ultimately deciding she had enough space to take the jumper, and she gets the scoring started this evening. Jordan Pyle tries to respond on the other end. Fadeaway misses, and the rebound is knocked out of bounds by Acosta. Adriana Acosta and Jordan Pyle both came off the bench the last time St. Francis played at home. Acosta coming off of an injury at the time. She's maybe not at 100% strength, but getting closer and closer to it as she's back in the lineup for the third consecutive game. Braxton Mickens, Justine Charlesworth, Kaylin C.S. Cheney out there for the Saints as the three-pointer misses from Gabrielle Beggs. And St. Francis takes possession, looking for their first points of the night. Acosta kicks it down to Mickens in the corner and overthrew her. So Acosta is a little bit off of her game to start tonight. A turnover on this possession, and Roosevelt takes possession ahead by 2, just over a minute into the action. Amelia McNutt, senior from East Lansing, Michigan, one of the top scorers on this team, a balanced scoring outfit. Nobody on this Roosevelt squad averages better than 15 points per game, but they've got 3 players averaging better than 14. McNutt is one of them with the ball. She kicks it back outside on the left wing. This is Shauna Conger putting it on the floor into the corner. McNutt with the shot clock running down. Conger fires the 3, does not get the bounce off the front rim, and the Saints come away with the rebound. Here's Kaylin C.S. Cheney streaking down the floor out to a wide open Jordan Pyle, and Pyle knocks down the 3. She's been hot from the outside, 42% from three-point range for Jordan Pyle this year. She leads the team, averaging better than 17 points per game, and she is playing her best basketball of the season right now. Named CCAC Player of the Week for her efforts in a couple of wins last week. Saints play their first game of this week today, leading Roosevelt 3-2 as each team has now hit on 1 field goal just over 2 minutes in. Shauna Conger picks up her dribble, working hard against Charlesworth, fights it up and in off the glass. Good moves in the post from Shauna Conger, the sophomore from Ohio, and Roosevelt is back in front. We've seen a couple of lead changes here in the first few minutes as the sides have exchanged hoops. Kaylin C.S. Cheney will try to lead the offense for St. Francis in giving them the lead back. Pyle, another open look from the outside. This time from up top, she knocks it down. Jordan Pyle, 2 of 2 from three-point range. And the Lakers have left her unaccounted for on back-to-back possessions. Big mistake there for Roosevelt. The Saints have their first 2-point lead. Roosevelt takes possession back, and this is Gabrielle Beggs setting things up. To the top of the key, Mo Milton. Left side, Amelia McNutt. Good ball movement, but a pass inside is too tall for Mo Milton. Over her head and stolen by Adriana Acosta. Pyle in the corner, this time with the defense closing in. She drives into the paint. Pyle, layup, no. Rebound, Roosevelt. The Lakers try to run. McNutt slows it down just across half court, nearly double dribbled, but able to keep it alive for the Lakers. McNutt resets at the top, 20 on the shot clock. Kaylin C.S. Cheney shadows her from inside the three-point line. McNutt sets things up. She's been in possession for about 10 seconds before throwing it off to Conger on the right side. Conger drives the baseline, loses the ball, picked up by Kaylin C.S. Cheney. She was looking for a pass, didn't get anything on it, and the ball just kind of trickled loose. An easy steal for C.S. Cheney. Justine Charlesworth off balance on a three-point attempt. It drifts wide to the right, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by St. Francis. Gabrielle Beggs came in late with the defense on Charlesworth, and the St. Francis senior guard seemed thrown off by the late defense. Not able to get her body set up on that three-point attempt. As the Saints come up empty, here's Conger in the double team. Down low, Nicole Poole, layup no good. Rebound Acosta. Kaylin C.S. Cheney working quickly once again. Into the corner, Pyle, another three-point attempt. She misses for the first time, but an offensive rebound. Justine Charlesworth pulls it away from the Lakers defenders. A reset for the Saints as Acosta is shoved from behind by Mo Milton. With 5:47 remaining in the first period, we've got our first foul of the game. This one on Milton from behind Acosta. And the Saints once again will reset the shot clock to 20. In a possession that's already been reset twice now. Kaylin C.S. Cheney is the inbounder from right underneath the hoop. Hands it to Acosta. Acosta working against Milton, called for the travel. Second turnover committed by the senior Acosta. Sixth-year senior for St. Francis. In fact, Andriana Acosta was here long enough ago that she was teammates with Charnel Reed on the team that went to the semifinals 5 years ago. Charnel Reed, the head coach at Roosevelt now, the St. Francis legend, in her second season with this rebuilt Lakers program. Three-pointer from the corner, no good for Gabrielle Beggs, rebounded by Acosta. Outlet pass to Braxton Mickens, who pushes it ahead. Mickens out to Kaylin C.S. Three-point attempt is too strong. Rebound Acosta. Jordan Pyle thought about the three. She puts it on the floor instead, blows by two defenders, but misses the open layup. And it's knocked out of bounds. Who got it last? Looks like Roosevelt did. So another chance for the Saints here. They're not shooting the ball well early on, but they're keeping possessions alive. Already they've got 3 offensive rebounds, just 2 of 8 from the field. As Andriana Acosta chases down the inbounds pass back to the midcourt circle. This is Braxton Mickens driving from the right. Pull up from the lane. Got the front rim. Couldn't get the roll. No good from Mickens on her first field goal attempt of the game. It remains 6-4, a low-scoring first quarter just past the halfway point. Poole on the wing. Up top, Conger. Swung around to the left side. Back up to Conger. Conger with Jordan Pyle in her face, passes to her right with the shot clock now inside of 10 seconds. Conger, three-pointer in the face of Justine Charlesworth, hits it from three-point range and gives Roosevelt the lead at 7-6. Shauna Conger off to a good start today. Conger 2 of 3 from the field. She's got 5 of the Lakers' first 7 points, and we've got another lead change. Neither side has been able to hold on to that advantage for 2 straight baskets. Charlesworth out to C.S. Cheney. Kaylin C.S. Cheney at the free throw line. Drives on McNutt. Pulls up in close. Throws it out to Charlesworth. Through her hands and stolen. Taken away in the corner by Gabrielle Beggs in a tough spot. She's able to get it off of Charlesworth's leg and out of bounds. Possession goes to Roosevelt, who makes their first substitution of the game. Sophomore guard Mallory Hawkins checks in for senior Nicole Poole. Roosevelt leads 7-6. So far today, St. Francis has hit just twice from the field. A couple of three-pointers for Jordan Pyle, and that's all. They run the shot clock down to 28, a slight delay before we're able to get rolling again, but back inbounds, McNutt carries it across half court with the shot clock now down to 20. Beggs over to Conger. Left side, this is Beatrice Bruno, and Bruno takes a walk. So Bruno just off the bench, getting her first action of the game. Immediately called for the traveling violation, a turnover committed by Roosevelt. And the Saints again get a chance to respond to the 1-point deficit. Braxton Mickens bounces it into Acosta. Andriana Acosta turns to face the basket, steps into the lane. Tough shot, no good. Offensive rebound. Acosta's fouled going back up. Looked like her shot may have been tipped out of her hands initially. But on the second chance, she's hit in the arm by Bruno, and Beatrice Bruno is called for her first foul. It's the second on the Lakers, and it leads to Andriana Acosta's first point of the night. A free throw for Acosta makes it a 7-7 tie. It's the first time we've been tied tonight. Acosta 78% from the line, makes 2 of 2. St. Francis back in front. We are early here, and we've already seen 5 lead changes. 3.5 minutes to play in the first quarter as the Saints put on a full court press for the first time. Hawkins having some trouble, and Charnel Reed recognized it. The second-year head coach of the Lakers calls timeout from the sideline and calls her team over to talk it out. 8-7, St. Francis leads, 3:31 on the clock first quarter. Both teams struggling offensively early on. Saints just 2 of 10 shooting the ball through the first 6.5 minutes. Roosevelt a little more success shooting when they've been able to. They've turned it over 3 times already tonight. Saints have turned it over 3 times already as well. The reason they've had so many more opportunities than Roosevelt has is because of all of their second chance efforts. 4 offensive rebounds already for the Fighting Saints in this game. So it's been an interesting start between two teams who need a win. Roosevelt trying to stay in the middle of the pack and qualify for the conference tournament here in the CCAC. St. Francis playing for a conference championship as the Lakers are able to beat the press, getting it to Hawkins in the corner. Hawkins hits the three-pointer. Mallory Hawkins is on the board for the first time. Roosevelt leads 10-8. Another lead change. That's our 6th of the game. Andriana Acosta backs in on Conger. Now double teamed by McNutt. Out to Pyle. Sets her feet. Fires the three. It's short. Rebound knocked towards the baseline. Saved by Conger. And kept alive by Gabrielle Beggs. Roosevelt takes possession. Looking to take their biggest lead of the game. Two sides have exchanged points so far. Roosevelt has the opportunity now to be the first team tonight to score on back-to-back tries. This is Conger. Conger kicks it outside to Beggs with the shot clock at 8. Beggs gets the screen, moves to her left, picked up by Charlesworth. Out to Conger, deep three with the shot clock running down. Off the mark, rebounded by Acosta. St. Francis did actually score on back-to-back possessions earlier. Roosevelt scored in between as Pyle knocks down another three. Jordan Pyle remains the only Saint to score from the field today. She's got 3 3-pointers and a game-high 9 points overall as the Saints lead by 1. 11-10 our score. Back and forth we go here late in the first quarter with just over 2 minutes to play. Conger up top. Conger passes to the right. This is Beggs. Gabrielle Beggs works around the screen, and she is bumped by Justine Charlesworth. Gabrielle Beggs has a knack for getting fouled. Beggs, the sophomore guard from Argo High School, scored a season-high 28 points in the win over Trinity Christian last weekend. 20 of those 28 points came from the free throw line. McNutt drives on C.S. Cheney. Little floater, gets the roll. 2 points for Amelia McNutt, and Roosevelt is back on top. 12-11 thanks to McNutt's first points of the night. C.S. Cheney walks to the left and hands it to just off the bench, Hannah Switek. Here's Pyle on the drive. Pyle floats it out to Charlesworth. Down to the right corner, Kaylin C.S. Cheney works her way down the lane, out to Switek. She tries the three, and Switek misses short. Offensive rebound grabbed by Charlesworth, who is immediately knocked to the ground. Justine Charlesworth is fouled. That foul just the third on Roosevelt. No free throws here for Charlesworth. Saints get another offensive rebound, their 5th of the quarter. They've got just 2 second chance points so far. See if they can capitalize on the offensive board this time around. Acosta from inside the free throw line misses the turnaround jumper, and the Saints come up empty. Roosevelt has the ball with a 1-point lead. McNutt out to Conger. Conger sets it up at the top of the key. Guarded by the much smaller Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Flips it out to the right side to Nicole Poole. Here's Beggs working around the perimeter. Shot clock at 12 for Conger on the left wing. Conger penetrates, picks it up in the lane, throws it up with the right hand and in. 2 more for Shauna Conger. She's got 7. And Roosevelt takes the game's biggest lead at 14-11. So they have scored back-to-back buckets now. First time we've seen that from either side in an extremely close first quarter. A sloppy first quarter, but one that's been very competitive. Kaylin C.S. Cheney's letting the clock run. 6-second difference between the shot and game clocks here. Kaylin C.S. Cheney takes it to the right, pulls up, and throws it away. Miscommunication there between Kaylin C.S. Cheney and Jordan Pyle. C.S. Cheney looking for Pyle on the outside. Throws it along the sideline and out of bounds. Roosevelt already has scored on back-to-back trips down the floor. And now they've got a chance to make it 3 in a row before the end of the period. From the free throw line, jumper is good from Nicole Poole. 3 seconds on the clock. Pyle takes it to half court, fires the long-range three, and just off to the left. The first quarter comes to a close. Roosevelt 16, St. Francis 11. It was a very close first quarter, and the quarter was played within 1 possession for 9.5 minutes just about, and all of a sudden, over the last half minute or so, the Lakers finish with a flurry as they end the period on a 6-0 run. Saints have their work cut out for them here against a hot shooting Lakers team. 58% from the field in the first quarter. while St. Francis shot just 20%. To put that in actual numbers, Roosevelt made 7 of 12 shots. St. Francis just 3 of 15. Jordan Pyle was the bright spot from the outside for St. Francis. Left with a lot of open looks. She ended up going 3 of 6 from three-point range, but missed all 3 of her shots from in the paint. She leads all scorers right now with 9, but Shauna Conger is not far behind for Roosevelt. The Lakers forward has 7 points so far in today's game, along with a pair of rebounds. Andriana Acosta, slow start for St. Francis, 0 of 2 from the field, but she has 6 rebounds, several of them on the offensive side. St. Francis has 6 offensive rebounds as a team right now, but so far have not been able to capitalize on their second chances. Kaylee Ford is into the game to start the second quarter. Ford is joined by Charlesworth, Swiatek, Pyle, and Kaylin C.S. Cheney. The Lakers come out with Amelia McNutt, Nicole Poole, Shauna Conger, Mallory Hawkins, and Gabrielle Beggs as we are underway in the second period. Saints trailing by a game-high 5 points. Going through a bit of a drought right now. It's been over 2.5 minutes since they last scored. Kaylin C.S. Cheney trying to change that right here, and she does. Right off the bat to start this second quarter, Kaylin C.S. Cheney hits on her first points of the night. 4th made three-pointer of the game for St. Francis. Roosevelt nearly gives it away. McNutt keeps it alive to Conger, but Mallory Hawkins ends up traveling. That whole possession was completely out of sorts for Roosevelt, and they're not able to make anything out of it. And so 31 seconds into the second quarter, the Saints have scored 3 points, and they've got the ball back with Braxton Mickens returning to the game in place of Justine Charlesworth. Here's Kaylin C.S. Cheney moving to her right. She passes down to the corner. Braxton Mickens. Mickens works her way to the hoop and lays it in. Beautiful drive. Braxton Mickens. St. Francis ties the score at 16. So after a 6-0 run ended the quarter for Roosevelt, the Saints have very quickly put 5 of their own back on the board. It's the first time today they've hit one from 2-point range as the 3-point attempt from Conger misses off the backboard, no good. And the Saints can reclaim the lead. Jordan Pyle fakes the shot, takes it inside, kicks it into the corner. Mickens short this time, and the rebound goes to Mo Milton, the starting center, who returns to action here in the second quarter and restarts possession for Roosevelt. The Lakers can retake the lead. Amelia McNutt dribbles to the left. Down to the corner, Beggs. Gabrielle Beggs has been quiet offensively so far in this game. Worked back outside, now down to the post. This is Mo Milton. Milton in a tussle with Jordan Pyle. And we've got a tie-up with the possession arrow facing Roosevelt. They'll keep it with 9 seconds on the shot clock. How about that defensive effort from Jordan Pyle? She just grabbed that ball right out of the hands of Mo Milton. I guess not right out of the hands. It stayed in Milton's hands, but it stayed in Pyle's hands too. So the possession arrow flips sides. Roosevelt's got to work quickly here. Milton dribbling it to her left, kicks it outside. Beggs with 3 to shoot. Gabrielle Beggs drives, has to throw one up at the buzzer. No good. Rebound by Justine Charlesworth. Kaylin C.S. Cheney, the point guard for St. Francis, handles the ball, kicks it to Charlesworth. 3-pointer misses. Rebound Beggs. Saints continue to struggle shooting the ball. Outplaying Roosevelt in most facets right now, except the most important one, putting it in the hoop. Roosevelt struggling to do that to start the second quarter as well, as Poole misses on the 3. Charlesworth tries a 3-pointer, and it won't count against her shooting percentage because she took a step first. So traveling violation is called against Justine Charlesworth. We've seen a handful of travels called on both sides already. A lot of turnovers in this one. 9 overall, 4 for Roosevelt, 5 committed by St. Francis. We're tied at 16, 7:40 to play in the first half. Poole missed a 3 the last time down. She misses one this time down too. Rebound tipped into the hands of Charlesworth. Here comes Kaylin C.S. Cheney, streaking past Milton, kicked out to Mickens. Now Charlesworth freed up for an open 3. That's good. Perfect shot, Justine Charlesworth. She has been red hot all year. I guess you can't even call it a hot streak if it lasts the entire season. 45% from 3-point range. Justine Charlesworth leads the team in that category, and now she leads the Saints to a 3-point advantage. 5 made three-pointers already for St. Francis in this game. They've hit just 1 two-pointers. That pass a little bit too high for McNutt. She barely saves it from going out of bounds, but right into the hands of Charlesworth. Here's Kaylin C.S. Cheney stepping into another three-pointer. She hits again. Kaylin C.S. Cheney, not a big three-point shooter, but she has been tonight. She's hit 2 from beyond the arc. 29% on the season, but she gives St. Francis its biggest lead at 22-16. The Saints are on an 11-0 run as Mo Milton is called for the travel. Milton thought she was fouled. She fell to the floor. Instead, no call on St. Francis. So the turnover gives the ball back to the Fighting Saints, leading by 6. I mentioned before the Saints have, for the most part today, been outplaying Roosevelt with the exception of their shooting percentage. Well, now the shots are starting to fall. They've gone on an 11-0 run. 4 of 6 from the field so far this quarter. Make it 5 of 7. And Kaylin C.S. Cheney has hit 3 of those shots from three-point range. 25-16. It's a 14-0 run for the Saints. Kaylin C.S. Cheney had hit 22 three-pointers in 24 games this year. She's hit 3 in the last 2 minutes as Conger comes up short on the drive. Anna Swiatek ahead to Mickens. Braxton Mickens' layup is good from the left. 16 straight points for the Fighting Saints. And a lot of them coming with reserves on the floor as McNutt misses on the runner. A foul called on the rebound going against St. Francis. Most of the scoring today has come from Jordan Pyle and Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Braxton Mickens has added a few big buckets as well, so it's not the subs who are scoring. The starters are the ones putting the ball in the basket, but with Kaylee Ford and Hannah Swiatek out there, Saints are playing with a little extra spring in their step as McNutt misses on the jumper. Saints take it the other way. Swiatek up to C.S. Cheney. Kaylin C.S. Cheney hands it back to Hannah Swiatek. She drives with the left hand and a whistle blows. Foul called on the defense. This goes on Mallory Hawkins. First foul on Roosevelt for the quarter. 5 minutes, 26 seconds to play in the first half. As Jordan Pyle checks back in for the Fighting Saints and Kaylee Ford grabs a seat. Double-digit lead for St. Francis. They have scored the game's last 16 points, and Roosevelt has gone about 5 minutes since they last put any points on the board. Braxton Mickens steps back behind the three-point line and misses her shot, but the rebound goes to Jordan Pyle. Justine Charlesworth for 3. That misses, and this time it goes to Nicole Poole, who's immediately fouled. Saints have been shooting the ball better here in the second quarter, so offensive rebounding opportunities have not been as plentiful. But still on the offensive end, they are out-rebounding Roosevelt 7-1. Kaylin C.S. Cheney tries to jump the passing lane on the inbounds play, but McNutt pulls it in. And McNutt across half court, working with Shauna Conger. Conger passes to her right, begs, down low, Poole, off balance, fouled. Poole will go to the free throw line. Just past the halfway point here in the second quarter. Roosevelt still has not scored this quarter, but that can change right now as Kaylin C.S. Cheney is called for her second foul. Kaylee Ford checks in for C.S. Cheney. Nicole Poole just 5 of 10 from the free throw line this season. She misses the first. Well, the law of averages says she should make this one, right? Maybe not the law of averages. Not so much a law as it's just the custom of averages. She makes 1 of 2 typically, and she does here. Finally, Roosevelt is back on the board. Their first points in over 5 minutes. That snaps a 16-0 St. Francis run. 16-1 run is still pretty impressive as Ford passes out to a wide-open Jordan Pyle. Pyle misses the three-point attempt, and the ball is grabbed out of the air by Shauna Conger. McNutt to Beggs. Gabrielle Beggs for 3. That's short. Grazes the rim. Rebounded by Mickens. Here's Braxton Mickens out to Jordan Pyle. Three-pointer from the left side is good. Pyle is not being guarded whatsoever from outside the three-point line. She's just jacking them up right now. 4 for 8 from three-point range. St. Francis already has 18 three-point attempts in the game, and they've made 7 of them. 30-17 is our score. St. Francis on top. Full timeout called by Roosevelt. Jordan Pyle up to 12 points, all on three-pointers. Most of St. Francis's scoring has come from three-point range. 8, actually. I said 7 of 18. That was before the Pyle three. So they've made 8 from three-point range. They've hit just two-pointers. And a couple of points from the free throw line as well for the Fighting Saints, who have amassed their biggest lead. Roosevelt has not hit one from the field now since the last minute of the first quarter. Just 1 point so far in the second. And that was the free throw from Nicole Poole just about 30 seconds ago in terms of game time. St. Francis pulling away in this game the way that they know that they're capable of. The Fighting Saints came into play today. 1 game out of the conference lead. They're 15-2 overall in CCAC play. And on a 5-game winning streak, trying to stay hot through the end of the year. They've got a date with St. Ambrose coming up in a couple of weeks. St. Ambrose today plays St. Xavier, the two teams that have fewer losses than St. Francis in conference play this year. Both of them have just 1. St. Francis has 2. The Saints will move ahead of one of those teams in the standings today if they win, because either St. Ambrose or St. Xavier will lose. It's Gabrielle Beggs against the full court press. Back to Shauna Conger. Conger works it across half court to Beggs. Down to the corner, Hawkins along the baseline. Hawkins, nice step to get in front of the basket and lay it in. Well done by Mallory Hawkins. She's got 5 points, and Roosevelt gets their first field goal in 6 minutes. Jordan Pyle's pass towards Ford is deflected by Conger. Ford gets it back into Justine Charlesworth, kicked into the corner for Swiatek. Braxton Mickens on the drive. Mickens is stripped right back into Swiatek. Swiatek's three-pointer is banked in. Not the prettiest three-point effort of Hannah Swiatek's career, but it's tied for the prettiest result. 3 points on the scoreboard, 33-19. St. Francis's lead is up to 14 points. Gabrielle Beggs takes one dribble and passes off to Conger. Conger dribbles it off to her left with the shot clock now down to single digits. Nice pass on the bounce to McNutt, who kicks it out to Beggs. Three-pointer is short, and the rebound goes to Swiatek. Hannah Swiatek off to Justine Charlesworth. Down to Mickens. Mickens on the left side, works her way in on Hawkins. Bounced out to a wide-open Swiatek, and she hits another three. Hannah Swiatek and Kaylin Cias-Cheney are lighting it up from three-point range today. Swiatek, just a 19% three-point shooter on the season. Cias-Cheney just 29%. But both of them have hit on 2 here in the second quarter. And it's a blowout now in St. Francis's favor. Roosevelt has got a lot of time here, but they've got to start making a move going into halftime. They trail by 17. Conger for 3. That's off. Roosevelt really struggling from three-point range today. Jordan Pyle drives, blocked at the rim by Nicole Poole, and that one hits the side of the backboard, behind the backboard. It's the backside of it. Poole did not block the shot. It was off of Pyle. And Roosevelt takes possession. Down by 17 with just under 2.5 minutes to play. McNutt races across the press. Gives it off to Hawkins. Hawkins for 3. Well short. Grabs her own rebound. Hawkins on the drive. Stripped and fouled. Roosevelt is 2 of 13 from three-point range today, which is not a good percentage, but it's not significantly worse than their season average. They shoot just 24% from three-point range for the season. Hawkins misses the first free throw. Not a good shooting team. They have just one player, Amelia McNutt, who shoots as high as 30% from three-point range. Hawkins makes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. 36-20 is our score. Just 4 points this quarter for Roosevelt. Pyle inside Kaylee Ford, and Ford finishes it off. Beautiful pass by Jordan Pyle, and Ford has her first points of the night. Three-pointer for Conger. That misses, and the rebound goes to Ford. St. Francis has outscored Roosevelt 27-4 this quarter. Switek makes it 29-4. Nice move inside by Hannah Switek. And the Saints are doubling up the Lakers. 40-20. 8 points in the quarter for Hannah Switek. All of them just in the last couple of minutes. Hawkins, one dribble, throws it inside. Poole, turnaround, up with a right hand and in. Nice response from Nicole Poole. But Roosevelt needs to come up with a stop here. They have been few and far between in the second quarter. Braxton Mickens holds it outside. Passes to Switek on the left. Switek guarded by McNutt. Back up top to Charlesworth. Mickens on the drive. Mickens shovels it off to Ford, who lays it up with the left hand and misses. Ford's gotten some nice feeds inside the last few possessions. Comes up a little bit short on the shot this time. Nicole Poole left unaccounted for on the right side. Ford comes in late, turns away the shot, but Poole grabs the rebound and scores on the second effort. So Poole takes advantage of disjointed St. Francis defense on that possession. Roosevelt has scored the last 4. They were down by 20, and they've cut it to 16 here. 40-24 our score with 51 seconds to play in the first half. And what a second quarter this has been for St. Francis. They've outscored Roosevelt 29-8. 11 of 18 shooting this quarter, including 7 of 12 from three-point range. It has been a very impressive, very efficient offensive period for St. Francis, who has not turned the ball over in the second quarter after committing 5 of them in the first. They've done it in the second quarter with Andriana Acosta on the bench. Kaylin C.S. Cheney has been on the bench for a while after she picked up her second foul. So operating a little bit shorthanded. Shorthanded to begin with because of all of their injuries. John McGinty's team has had a short bench for a while, but a little bit more so now with the foul trouble for C.S. Cheney. Here's Kaylee Ford dribbling it off her foot, taken away by Gabrielle Beggs. Shauna Conger pulls up at the three-point line, passes back to Beggs at the top. Beggs penetrates, kicks out to Conger. Conger outside, three-point attempt. McNutt off the back iron, no good. Rebound tipped into the hands of Jordan Pyle. Last possession of the half for St. Francis. The shot clock is off. Hannah Switek picked up by McNutt across half court. Walks it to the center with 9 seconds to play. Switek gets the screen from Ford going to her right. Pull up, pass out to Pyle. Step back three. Jordan Pyle in and out. And knocked out of bounds with .1 on the clock. Possession stays with St. Francis, but they will not have time to get a shot off here. It would have to be a very quick tip. It would help if they can get above the rim. I don't know that's going to happen. So with 1/10 of a second to play, Switek lobs it in. It's caught by Jordan Pyle, and as soon as she caught it, the half was over. 40-24. St. Francis has the lead at the intermission, and what a job the Saints have done to pull away here after trailing by 5 at the end of one. They went on a 16-0 run, ended up outscoring Roosevelt in the quarter 29-8. So it's been an impressive run for the Fighting Saints. We'll see if they can keep it rolling into the second half. About 15 minutes from now, I'll be back with first half stats and second half action. Saints by 16 at the break on the USF Sports Network. Second half coming up in just a few moments here at St. Francis. Terry Bonadonna back with you on the call of today's game, the Fighting Saints against the Lakers of Roosevelt. The first half belonged to the home team. St. Francis leads 40-24 on the heels of a dominant second quarter. They were down by 5 at the end of one, and then they went on a 16-0 run. They ended up outscoring Roosevelt 29-8 over that second 10-minute period. Some stats from the first half. Saints shot 41% overall from the field, but a very impressive 46% from three-point range. Roosevelt 35% overall, just 13% on threes. They went 2 of 15. Saints out-rebounded the Lakers 24-15. Both teams finished with 6 turnovers, but off of those turnovers, St. Francis scored 10 points. Roosevelt only 2. Saints leading scorer Jordan Pyle, 12 points, all of them from beyond the arc. Kaylin C.S. Cheney has 9 points, all of those from beyond the arc. Hannah Switek has 8 points. 6 of those have been from three-point range. She's 3 of 4 shooting overall. Roosevelt led by Nicole Poole and Shauna Conger. Each of them has 7 points. Mallory Hawkins has 6 off the bench for Charnel Reed's squad. And St. Francis has the 16-point lead overall. They dominated that second quarter with Andriana Acosta on the bench the entire time, and Kaylin C.S. Cheney missing the last 5 minutes or so in foul trouble. Both Acosta and C.S. Cheney are back on the floor as we start the second half, and St. Francis starts this half with the ball in their possession, switching sides, now going from left to right. The Lakers from right to left for the last 20 minutes of today's game. And the Saints will try to stay as hot as they were 15 minutes ago as we get underway here in the second half. Braxton Mickens up top to Justine Charlesworth. Back around to the right side, Kaylin C.S. Cheney. C.S. Cheney is guarded by McNutt. She crosses over around the screen from Acosta down to the corner. Jordan Pyle fires the three and misses. Pyle grabs her own rebound but dribbles it out of bounds. Fourth rebound of the game for Jordan Pyle, who is not having a good shooting night, just 4 of 14 overall. 4 of 10 from three-point range, but she's had enough opportunities that even though it hasn't been a particularly efficient night, it's still been a very productive night, as that ball is sent way too high for Beggs over her head and out of bounds. Turned over by Roosevelt. Their 7th of the game. Officially a turnover for each team on its first possession of the half. Jordan Pyle had already secured the rebound on the last possession before losing it out of bounds. That does count as a turnover against her and against St. Francis. Pyle, another open three. This time she hits. She has gotten so many open looks from the outside today, and by and large, she's been successful. Now 5 of 11 from three-point range. She is 0 for 4 shooting two-pointers, but she hasn't had too much need to shoot two-pointers. She's had so many good looks from the outside as that three-pointer is off the mark from Amelia McNutt. McNutt really struggling tonight, just 1 of 5 now from the field. Mickens takes it inside on Beggs, kicks it out to C.S. Cheney. She's had a hot hand tonight. Not this time, though, as that shot rims out. Here comes Gabrielle Beggs. Beggs is scoreless in the ball game. Loses it down low, but gets it back, gives to Milton, and Milton lays it in. Gabrielle Beggs and Amelia McNutt combined for 54 points in Roosevelt's last game. The two of them today have a combined 2 points on 1 of 10 shooting. Jordan Pyle splits the defense, lays it up and misses. She's now 0 of 5 from two-point range as Milton loses the ball out of bounds. It was knocked out of her hands by Acosta, but she reached for it at the last second as the ball was sprung loose, and she touched it last. So it's St. Francis ball up by 17, 8:12 to play in the third quarter. C.S. Cheney picks up her dribble, lobs it in for Acosta. Quiet night so far for Acosta. She kicks it out to C.S. Cheney, three-pointer off the rim, no good. Rebound knocked off of Milton, Saints ball. Acosta has just been using Milton to keep the ball on St. Francis' side here. Quick hands from Andriana Acosta, keeping the ball alive for the Fighting Saints. Kaylin C.S. Cheney inbounds it to Andriana Acosta. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Around a screen, Justine Charlesworth takes it in. Charlesworth throws one off the backboard, no good. Offensive rebound, Acosta, no. Fight for the rebound, out of bounds, and again off of Milton. Shot clock at 17 for the Fighting Saints. So they've had the ball for seemingly the last hour and a half. It's only been about 35 seconds in actuality. Bounced into Acosta, who lays it up and in. She had good positioning on Milton there, received the pass and laid it right in. Adriana Acosta has her first field goal of the game. 4 points in all for the senior forward. Roosevelt has the ball down 19. 19 is their second biggest deficit of the game, 40-20. It's the most St. Francis has led by as Beggs misses on the layup. Rebounded by Pyle, who kicks it out to Mickens. Braxton Mickens on the drive and kick. Charlesworth finds an open Pyle. Jordan Pyle drains another three. 18 for Pyle now on 6 made three-pointers. The Saints' lead is up to 22. 7 minutes to play in the third. Here's Beggs. Inside Milton. Milton backs in, gets position, turnaround jumper, air ball, out of bounds. Hannah Switek in for Kaylin C.S. Cheney, who hobbles towards the bench. A little bit shaken up for the moment. Milton checks out. Hawkins back in for Roosevelt. Switek sets up the offense. Crossover to her left, picks up her dribble, lobs it down to the corner. Open Mickens, three-pointer is short. Rebound loose, grabbed by Shauna Conger, and Conger is fouled by Braxton Mickens. First foul of the half on either team, 6:33 to play in the third. St. Francis has kept things on a roll since halftime. They outscored Roosevelt 29-8 in the second quarter. Here in the third, they've got an 8-2 advantage. Poole for three. Good. Just the third made three-pointer of the game for Roosevelt. It's Nicole Poole hitting for the first time today from the outside. Roosevelt now 3 of 17 shooting from three-point range as a team. Braxton Mickens and the Saints have been much better. Mickens hits her first three-pointer. She's got 7 points. The Saints are at 45% from three-point range as McNutt answers with a nice drive and finish on the other end. Amelia McNutt has her second basket of the game. 4 points for her, 20-point game. 51-31 St. Francis. Mickens drives quickly on the other end. A little bit out of control as she throws up the shot and misses. And she's called for a foul. Trying to strip the ball back from Nicole Poole. Second foul on Mickens. They've come in short succession. McNutt takes it up the floor. Walks it off to the right, picked up by Switek. Crosses over to the left. Jordan Pyle plays the defense. That ball's lobbed inside from Beggs to Poole. She is hit from behind by Acosta and a foul called. Third on St. Francis this quarter. First of the game on Acosta. 5:25 to play in the quarter. The shot clock resets to 20. Inbounded to Shauna Conger. Conger, one step to her left, picks up the dribble, gives to Hawkins. Here's McNutt. Back to Hawkins, 8 to shoot. Conger wide open, three-pointer. In and out. Rebounded by Switek. Hannah Switek on the move. Into the cutting Adriana Acosta layup, no. Rebounded by Poole. Roosevelt dodges a bullet. Good setup for St. Francis. They couldn't finish. Here's McNutt kicking it outside. Before the pass, a foul called. Fourth on St. Francis. That is number 1 on Hannah Switek. Excuse me, number 2 on Hannah Switek. And a timeout is called by St. Francis. Full timeout, 4:52 to play. Third quarter, 20-point lead for the Fighting Saints, who have slowed down their shooting touch just a tad here. They've missed on their last couple. But they still have the big lead right now on Roosevelt, who has not been able to get into any kind of groove since the end of the first quarter. In the first period, they scored 16 points on 7 of 12 shooting. In the 15 minutes since, just 15 points on 6 of 24 from the field. So tough night for the Lakers today, who came in on a 2-game losing streak, lost a tough one to Trinity Christian their last time out. A hard-fought 95-88 loss. They have only once this year dropped as many as 3 games consecutively, but they're in danger of doing it again right here today as we have entered the season's final month. First game of February for both of these teams. Conference tournament is now just 3 weeks away, and St. Francis is still angling for the number 1 seed in the conference championship. Came into play today, 3rd place in the conference. If they win, they will be in 2nd place, moving ahead of either St. Xavier or St. Ambrose, depending on the result of that game. Here's Beggs. Beggs throws inside Hawkins, kick back out. Poole knocks down the 3. Second for Poole. She's got 13 points. She started to get the outside shooting going a little bit better for Roosevelt, an area they have struggled mightily today. Pyle backs it on Poole. Kicks it out to Mickens, who misses the 3-point attempt. Rebounded by the Lakers. Lobbed ahead for Hawkins, but Braxton Mickens jumps in and takes it away. Lobbed ahead for Charlesworth. Charlesworth lays it up and in. It's been a quiet night offensively for Justine Charlesworth, who entered today's game 3rd on the team, averaging 12 points per game. She's got 5 tonight, just her 2nd field goal of the evening. And it puts the Saints up by 19 with under 4 to play in the 3rd period. Amelia McNutt backs it up, passes to her left. This is Hawkins trying her hand at an outside shot. No good, short. Pyle takes it the other way, out to Mickens. Another 3-point attempt. Mickens is good. Braxton Mickens is into double figures. The 2nd Saint to reach that plateau. 10 points for the sophomore Braxton Mickens. Here's a drive from Beggs, and Beggs is fouled going up. So Roosevelt will get its 3rd chance from the free throw line today. Not seen a lot of foul shots. 4 of them from the Lakers. They've made 2. Saints have also made 2, but those are the only ones they've taken. Roosevelt has not committed a foul yet this half. They are in the bonus as Beggs makes the first free throw for her first point of the game. Gabrielle Beggs came in as the active leader in scoring on the team, averaging 14.5. She makes the second. She has had a very tough night shooting the ball. Finally gets herself to the free throw line here. So she has her first 2 points, 20-point game. Kaylin C.S. Cheney in possession for St. Francis. Fires the 3 and misses. And the rebound corralled by Amelia McNutt. Poole around to Beggs on the right wing. Beggs up top. This is Shauna Conger. Conger trying to work around Justine Charlesworth. Picks up the dribble. Passes to her right. Down low, Mo Milton. Milton, 1 dribble. Up over Kaylee Ford. No good. Offensive rebound. Put back in for Shauna Conger. Conger's got 9. There's her first bucket of the second half. St. Francis built their 20-point lead, and ever since, we've been trading baskets here at the Sullivan Center. And the Saints will be happy to do that the rest of the night. Jordan Pyle for 3. They'd be happy to do that the rest of the night, too. Pyle hits another 3. She's got 7. The school record for 3-pointers in a game is 8. Justine Charlesworth has done that multiple times this year. And Jordan Pyle has 7. We're only in the 3rd quarter. That's all of her points. Pyle, who's not typically a high-volume outside shooter, very good from 3-point range. It's been excellent all night today as McNutt misses on the runner. Putback is good for Mo Milton. Early in the game, it was St. Francis who was dominating the offensive glass, and now Roosevelt has scored on their second chance on back-to-back possessions. Kaylee Ford blocked inside by Nicole Poole. Here come the Lakers, down by 19. Conger working inside on Charlesworth. Steps back outside the perimeter. Now driving along the baseline, gets underneath the basket, picks up her dribble, up with the right hand, does not get the roll. Rebounded by Pyle. Ahead for Charlesworth. Justine Charlesworth has Kaylee Ford out in front of her. Charlesworth takes it inside, out to Jordan Pyle. Pyle kicks to her left. Switek for three. Got it. Hannah Switek's third three-pointer of the game. She's got 11. She and C.S. Cheney have each hit 3 3-pointers now as McNutt throws it out of bounds. The only one near that pass was the official, and she just got caught in too deep. Was about to travel and had to get rid of the ball. So she ends up throwing it to nobody. A turnover for Roosevelt. With just over a minute to play, Maria Cruz-Uceda checks in for the first time for St. Francis. Andriana Acosta off the bench as well. Cruz-Uceda gets her first touch, dribbles to the right and passes to Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Here's C.S. Cheney at the free throw line. She picks it up out to Cruz-Uceda. Down low Acosta. Shot clock at 12 for Braxton Mickens. Mickens drives, throws outside. Switek, nice pump fake. Gets to the basket, lays it up and misses. Rebound tipped outside. Still loose and finally brought in by McNutt. Amelia McNutt on the drive, lays it up and in. Nice work by McNutt keeping that ball alive and taking it all the way down the floor for a layup. She's got 6. Shot clock and game clock are just about even here. And John McGinty wants the Saints to hold for the final shot. Hannah Switek, guarded closely by Hawkins. With the clock down to 9 seconds, makes her move to the right. And she loses the ball. Knocked away by McNutt, picked up by Poole. Ahead for Hawkins. Hawkins, nice stop, lays it up and in at the buzzer. Got it off just in time and ends the third quarter on a high note for Roosevelt. Overall, though, not a lot of high notes, at least not enough of them for the Lakers in the third. They scored 20, but they gave up 22, and at the end of 3, the St. Francis lead is still large. 62-44 is our count, and we've seen 3 very different quarters of basketball. In the first, it was back and forth, a lot of defense, a lot of turnovers, not a lot of great shooting. But Roosevelt got hot at the end of the quarter, ended on a 6-0 run, and led by 5 at the end of the first. The second quarter was all St. Francis. They outscored the Lakers 16-0 out of the shoot and ended up 29-8, a plus 21 for the quarter to take a big lead at halftime. And in the third, we saw back and forth offense, both teams getting hot, and St. Francis extending their lead by a couple. 22-20, they outscored the Lakers in the quarter. 62-44, they've outscored them in the game. 21 points for Jordan Pyle on 7 of 13 shooting from three-point range. The Lakers are led by Nicole Poole, who's got 13 points and 7 rebounds. She had a really nice period, adding a couple of three-pointers of her own, but 2 of the 4 that Roosevelt has made today. There's just 4 of 20 from beyond the arc. St. Francis is 16 for 34. The Fighting Saints start the fourth quarter with the same quintet they had out there to end the third quarter. And it looks like Roosevelt has done the same. Beatrice Bruno, the reserve guard, who's seen limited minutes today, inbounds it to Beggs and gets it right back. Bruno at the free throw line, kicks it out to Hawkins. Hawkins steps to that line and misses a jumper. Rebound goes to Acosta, her 10th of the night. Andriana Acosta, the team's leading rebounder, starts the offensive possession, but Mickens ends it as she's called for the offensive foul. Hawkins stands in and takes the contact. Third foul on Braxton Mickens. Braxton Mickens checks out, and Jordan Pyle, after a short rest, is back on the floor. Pyle, the game's leader, with 21 points tonight. Here's Gabrielle Beggs. Beggs lobs it in for Poole, who juggles it but keeps possession alive. Back outside to Beggs. Down low, Poole again. Poole turns to face the basket, finds Milton at the free throw line. Shot clock at 8 for Mo Milton, who gives it back to Poole. Poole down low. Beatrice Bruno in the post to Beggs. Beggs outside, misses the three-pointer at the shot clock expiration, and the rebound goes to Andriana Acosta. Saints give it to Pyle. Pyle, corner 3 is good. Her 8th of the night. 24 points for Jordan Pyle, the reigning CCAC Player of the Week, angling for another award with an excellent performance today. Poole for the answer, way off on the three. Too hard off the glass, offensive rebound. Beatrice Bruno takes it in and lays it in. 2 points for Bruno, her first of the game. Switek sets it up for the Fighting Saints. Jordan Pyle up top, Adriana Acosta. Right side, Justine Charlesworth. Down low to Pyle. Pyle finds a cutting Acosta, lays it up and in. Good find from Pyle. Beautiful cut and finish from Adriana Acosta, who's got 6 points for the game. Timeout called by Roosevelt. 8:21 to play in the fourth quarter. St. Francis has the big lead, 67 to 46. Not that big a lead. Jordan Pyle's got 24 points to lead everybody today. She's also got 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Just a fantastic game for Pyle, who is 0 of 5 shooting from 2-point range, and most of those attempts from right underneath the basket, but she is an outstanding 8 of 14 from 3-point range. She has tied the school record for most three-pointers in a game with 8. Been done a handful of other times, including by Justine Charlesworth twice this season alone. Pyle is a very good three-point shooter, but she typically takes 4 of them per game. In fact, she was averaging exactly 4 of them per game coming in. She's attempted 14 of them today. Just take what the defense has given you. It's exactly what she's done tonight. Bruno to the left, pass deflected, but it finds Beggs anyway. Beggs is in some trouble, throws it down low for Milton, overthrew her. It's out of bounds. A turnover for Roosevelt. That is the Lakers' 10th turnover of the game. We saw a lot of turnovers in the first quarter for both teams. They have really cleaned it up ever since. We've seen 19 total now. 10 for Roosevelt, 9 for St. Francis. And 10 for St. Francis. I don't know if you credit that one to Switek or Mickens. Just didn't work between them. The pass was low from Switek. And Mickens couldn't pull it in. Right between her legs and out of bounds. So the last minute or so is not what you would put on a how to play basketball demonstration video, but we're going once again here as Acosta knocks the ball loose. It is free on the floor and scooped up by Switek. Well, that'll go on the how to play defense reel as Switek is fouled by Mo Milton. And that's the first foul on Roosevelt. In fact, first foul of the half on Roosevelt. Switek passes to Charlesworth. Pyle for the 9th three-pointer of the game, and she hits this one too. 9 threes in the game for Jordan Pyle, 27 points for the senior from Australia, 70 to 46. St. Francis has the lead. Here's Beggs along the baseline, flips it up to nobody, and Mickens is happy to scoop that ball out of the air. Mickens lobs it down low. Charlesworth, who lays it up and in. Braxton Mickens gets the steal and the assist. Justine Charlesworth has 7 points in the game, and now we've got a whistle. 7:11 to play. Not sure what the whistle was for there. It will stay with Roosevelt. Kaylee Ford comes on for Adriana Acosta. 26-point lead for St. Francis. This is the largest lead of the night. Remember, Roosevelt had the lead 10 minutes into this game, and the Saints just took over from there. They went on a 16-0 run and have not looked back. Down low, Mo Milton working against Ford. Milton, double team, throws it outside, deflected away by Mickens, out of bounds. It'll stay with Roosevelt, 13 on the shot clock. St. Francis as a team tonight has made 18 three-pointers, half of them for Jordan Pyle, who has the single-game school record for her efforts tonight. The drive up with the left hand, no good for Conger. And the rebound goes to Kaylee Ford. Here comes Hannah Switek. Switek off to the left, down to the corner. Mickens, three-point attempt, air ball. Rebound Justine Charlesworth. Charlesworth out to Pyle. Jordan Pyle drives in again. Pyle lays it up. No, she's 0 of 6 from 2-point range and still having a wonderful night as the ball is knocked out of bounds by St. Francis. And Roosevelt takes over with just about 6.5 minutes to play. Amelia McNutt handles the point guard duties for Roosevelt. She passes across half court to Conger, bounced right back to McNutt. Saints in a 1-3-1 zone here as the ball is passed to Hawkins on the left wing. Along to the right, it's Conger. Bounced back to McNutt. McNutt hounded by Pyle at the top of that zone defense. Hawkins bounces back to McNutt. Down to an open shooter. Three-point attempt misses from Conger. Offensive rebound Hawkins. Second chance is in. Hawkins has had a nice night off the bench. 10 points tonight for Mallory Hawkins. Came in averaging about 5 a game in conference play. As Swiatek knocks down another three. Hannah Swiatek has made 4 3-pointers today. She's got 14 points overall. As impressive as Pyle's 9 3-pointers has been, how about Swiatek's 4? She had hit only 5 all season coming in. Milton inside, gets bumped and finishes. Mo Milton has the chance for a 3-point play. That's 5 fouls on Mickens, so she is done for the day. Maria Cruz-Uceda checks in. Mickens finishes after a productive night, 10 points, 5 assists, couple of steals for Mickens. Milton makes it a 3-point play. Nice night for Mo Milton, 6 points this evening. 75-51 St. Francis. Pyle to Cruz-Uceda at the top. Along to the right wing, it's Swiatek. Justine Charlesworth fires the 3, no good. On a night where the Saints have lit it up from the outside, Justine Charlesworth surprisingly is just 1 of 5 shooting 3-pointers. That 3-point attempt misses from Poole. Charlesworth, the best 3-point shooter in the conference so far this season, fires it off to Swiatek, who cannot hit on her 5th of the game. Ford is there for the offensive rebound, no good. Third effort misses as well. As Ford grabs a couple of rebounds, can't add to her point total though. Hawkins on the right side. Hawkins steps inside the 3-point line and knocks down the jumper. 12 points for Mallory Hawkins, one of 3 Lakers in double figures tonight. It's a 22-point lead for St. Francis with 4.5 minutes to go. Swiatek back to Pyle. Pyle, another chance from the outside. That's 10 3-pointers in the game for Jordan Pyle. She's got 30 points. 78-53 St. Francis. McNutt walks to the right. Down to the corner, back out to McNutt. Here's Poole. Cross court, Hawkins for 3. Hawkins misses on the 3-point attempt. Rebound fought for Milton and Charlesworth fighting, and Mo Milton knocks it out of bounds. It's Maria Cruz-Uceda, Hannah Swiatek, Justine Charlesworth, Jordan Pyle, and Kaylee Ford on the floor for St. Francis. 25-point lead for the Fighting Saints. John McGinty sticking for the most part with his main players here. A couple of starters still on the floor. Braxton Mickens is already fouled out. Adriana Acosta still recovering from an injury, so we're not likely to see too many more players come off the bench as Charlesworth misses on the 3. Jordan Pyle deflects the pass from Conger, but it's pulled in by Bruno. Down low, Hawkins dribbles it off her foot, gets it back, and now fighting with Kaylee Ford for the ball, and possession belongs to St. Francis on the arrow. Good defense from Kaylee Ford. We saw Kaylin C.S. Cheney limp off the floor earlier as well. She did return after that, but likely the Saints are going to play it safe with her here. So Carlene Jones then would be the only other one available off the bench as Pyle drives and kicks. Maria Cruz-Uceda for 3. Airballs it. Rebound loose and grabbed by Nicole Poole. Approaching the 3-minute mark of the game as Jordan Pyle pokes the ball loose out of bounds. Jordan Pyle's got 30 points tonight for the Fighting Saints, all of them from 3-point range. McNutt down to the right corner. Long 2-pointer misses from Bruno. And the rebound to Kaylee Ford. Here's Swiatek ahead for Charlesworth. Justine Charlesworth lays it up and in. Justine Charlesworth's got a quiet 9 tonight. Quickly on the other end, Bruno misses the runner. Charlesworth grabs the rebound. Here's Justine Charlesworth pulling it up at the wing and slowing things down. Swiatek, unchecked, steps into the free throw line, now drives, lays it up and misses. Rebound goes to Poole. Number 0 in green. 27-point lead for St. Francis as Amelia McNutt passes to Nicole Poole on the right side of the floor. Back across court, McNutt. Hawkins at the top of the key. Passes towards the corner, deflected and stolen by Maria Cruz Uceda. As we approach 2 minutes remaining in the game, the Saints take possession. Anna Swiatek in the point guard position into Jordan Pyle, and Pyle from 2-point range hooks it in from underneath. Jordan Pyle's got 32 points, and John McGinty calls timeout with 1:58 to play. Jordan Pyle's night has included a school record 10 3-pointers. She's got 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in the game. She's played 36 minutes. 36 very productive minutes for Jordan Pyle tonight. The reigning CCAC Player of the Week. She's won that award twice this year. And maybe the front runner to win it again this week, as she makes a case not only for all conference honors, but she's trying to make a run at the Conference Player of the Year award as we come down to the last couple of weeks of the season. Pyle, a potential All-American this season for St. Francis, who is not ranked in the top 25 in the NAIA right now and not receiving any votes either, but they are playing their best basketball of the season now despite all the injuries, as they're on the verge of their 6th consecutive win. They are as dangerous as any team in the CCAC right now, including the 2 teams ahead of them in the standings, St. Ambrose and St. Xavier, who battle tonight on the south side of Chicago. Maria Cruz Uceda knocks the ball loose, and we've got a tie-up, and the possession arrow favors Roosevelt. Carlene Jones is in for Jordan Pyle, so Pyle's day is done with 32 points. Pyle's last moment on the floor was her first field goal from 2-point range today. Her first 10 all came from the outside. Inbounds pass is deflected, but pulled in by Conger. Conger jacks up the long 2 with the shot clock running down. Kaylee Ford grabs the rebound and fouled by Bruno. Charnel Reed has cleared her bench. Abby Nelson is in. Carmen Barnes. I think those are the only 2 new players out there for Roosevelt, as the ball is knocked out of bounds by Bruno. Not a whole lot of help on the Roosevelt bench tonight either. They're dealing with some injuries as well. So they've played everybody who's available, I believe, tonight. Justine Charlesworth loses this one out of bounds, and it's a turnover. Going back to the Lakers with 1:18 to play. They trail by 29. Carmen Barnes hands it to Beatrice Bruno, and Bruno sets up the offense. Off to Barnes on the left side. Bounce to Milton. Round to the right side. Beggs to the corner. A drive from Abby Nelson, blocked out of bounds. I think that was Maria Cruz Uceda who got the block. Kaylee Ford was in there as well with her hands up. 61 seconds still to go. Into Beggs. Gabrielle Beggs backs it out. 2 on the shot clock, and they're not going to get one up here. Nobody on the Roosevelt side seemed aware of how much time was remaining to shoot there. Nobody really ever faced the basket. So it's a turnover. St. Francis takes possession. Anna Swiatek off to Maria Cruz Uceda. Bruno fell down there, but she's able to get back into play before the Saints are able to take advantage of the 5-on-4. Here's Kaylee Ford on the drive. Ford is fouled by Nelson. .9 remaining. Kaylee Ford to the line. Kaylee Ford's got a couple of points so far tonight. Her first free throws, and the first one is good. 3 points for Ford. 7 different players have scored for St. Francis tonight, 7 of the 9. Only Uceda and Jones have not. Both of them have played limited minutes. Barnes knocks the rebound out of bounds. Oh, last touch by St. Francis. So Ford makes 1 of 2 at the line, or rather misses from the line, and Roosevelt will get what is likely their last possession here. Milton puts it in underneath. 83-53 is the score and should be the final. Shot clock is off for St. Francis. It's like they'll try to run an offense as the defensive pressure stays tight from Roosevelt. Here's Carlene Jones for 3. It's good. 86-55. Carlene Jones hits from the outside. The 8th Fighting Saint to score today, and Roosevelt will let the clock run out. After a slow start today from the Fighting Saints, they get hot in the second quarter and never cool off as they pull away to a dominant 86-55 victory. Jordan Pyle led the way with 32 points thanks to a school record 10 three-pointers made today on 16 attempts. And the Saints didn't have to sweat this one out too much after that slow start. They went 21 of 44 from three-point range, including that final dagger from Carlene Jones in the closing seconds. Great game all around for the Fighting Saints today. After the first quarter, they outscored Roosevelt over the final 30 minutes, 75-39. And we're in complete control seemingly the entire rest of the way. 32 points for Pyle, 14 for Hannah Switek on 5 of 9 shooting. Switek's offense has been getting sharper and sharper as the season has gone on. Braxton Mickens chipped in with 10 points as well, 5 assists. Justine Charlesworth just missed a double-double, 9 points, 8 rebounds, and she had 5 assists as well. In the game, St. Francis amazingly had 27 assists on 31 made field goals. 6 for Pyle, 5 for Switek, Charlesworth, and Mickens, and 3 for Kaylin C.S. Cheney as well. C.S. Cheney finished the game with 9 points. Acosta 6 points and a team-leading 11 rebounds. Roosevelt was led by Nicole Poole, who finished with 13 points in the game and 9 rebounds. Mallory Hawkins had 12, Mo Milton 11 for the Lakers tonight. But Roosevelt was done in by the shooting. I mentioned St. Francis, 21 of 44. Roosevelt was just 4 of 26 from three-point range in this game. So a blowout win for St. Francis, 86-55. The Saints will hit the road this weekend before returning home next Wednesday. And they are now winners of 6 consecutive ball games. They improved their overall record this season to 19-6. They're 16-2 in conference, and they put themselves in position to make a run at that conference title at the end of the year. They still do have to play St. Ambrose. They're done with St. Xavier. The only game they had with St. Xavier this year was a loss. So that game at St. Xavier is probably nearing a conclusion right now, but don't have an update for you. The Saints would prefer to see St. Ambrose win that one and then take care of business against St. Ambrose themselves in a couple of weeks. But a few more games to go before that showdown. St. Francis will try to extend the winning streak to 7 over the weekend on the road. Again, they'll return home for our next broadcast here on the USF Sports Network next Wednesday, 5 o'clock game next Wednesday evening. St. Francis victorious tonight. Roosevelt falls to 7-13, overall 6-10 in conference play. That'll do it for our broadcast. Again, our final score 86-55 in favor of the Fighting Saints. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from the University of St. Francis. Enjoy the rest of your night.